I covered some of the basic stuff in the first couple of videos on how to flip your classroom. We looked at some of the things you have to do to prepare yourself. We looked at some of the different software you can use. Today in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys exactly what it is that I do for my most recent videos. So as I said in the second video, you can make flipping the classroom as expensive as you want to. I have spent a little bit of money on it because I like making better quality videos as a hobby. It's just something I like to do. It's something I enjoy. That said, I went out and bought a GoPro Hero 4 Silver Edition, which is capable of making far better quality videos than I'm gonna need. I bought this camera for certain reasons. One is probably the cheapest quality camera I could find for what I'm trying to do. Secondly, it is actually something that I can use with my kids as well. So I'm going to get more than just the educational value out of it. And third, look at me, I'm in my car, for crying out loud. If you have an iPhone 6, you could probably make a video just as good, or at least as good, maybe even better than what I'm doing, or with no loss of quality. You don't need a high frame rate, so I'm not running my camera at anything more than 30 frames per second. It's capable of 60 frames per second, or at 720p, 120. All you're gonna do with that is create a large file that your video editing software can't handle. What do I mean by that? Well, I use Pinnacle Studio 18. My video editing software can't produce or process a video with a higher than a 30 frames per second frame rate anyway. So what's the point in using 60? Whatever you use, I got a simple magnetic mount that I was able to stick into my windshield using a suction cup, and then I just have a metal mount on the other side. For phones, most of these systems come with a metal plate you can use to just kind of stick on the back side. So it might be easier for you just to use your phone to do what I'm doing. But wait a second, Fowler, you're driving and you got a camera here, this is distracted driving, what are you doing? You're crazy. It's not, and I'll tell you why. Really, it looks like I might be deeply engaged into my camera, but in all actuality, I'm talking as if I'm talking to someone next to me, or as if I'm talking on the phone. I never one time, believe it or not, reach up and grab that camera. I get the film going and I just let it play. And when I need to pause in between thoughts, I pause and I just let it play. And then I go back into the video editor and I edit those pauses out. So all in all, I paid about $320 for the camera, which you can get a really good deal on Amazon.com. And I paid about $90 for Pinnacle Studio 18 when it was brand new. Other things that I've tried, especially if you look at my YouTube channel, you can see that I've played around with a green screen. Most of those videos that I used the green screen was either done using a Logitech webcam, which some of my earlier videos, as you can see by the quality, wasn't as good as the ones I'm putting out now. But today I use my GoPro for that as well. Problem is with the green screen is I get a little discouraged. I didn't put out a whole lot of videos this past year because I do not have a space where I'm able to set that up and leave it, and the setup is actually quite extensive. I also went out and bought myself a set of lights. I probably paid around $60 for the lights and also the bulbs that are used to make adequate lighting for green screen videos. The reason why I make so many videos in the car is because it's a pretty good fit for me. Typically, even though today it's raining, the lighting is efficient enough that I can make a high quality video. The fact that there is something on in the background makes it somewhat engaging, and the fact that I feel like I'm talking to my wife next to me makes me feel a little bit more comfortable and actually create a better presentation. So this is a pretty good fit for me. I've been calling it my office lately. One other thing that you notice about this particular video and all my others is that there are really minimal effects. I don't spend a whole lot of time doing editing that involves huge amounts of effects for several reasons. One, it bogs down my video editing software, and number two, it takes extra time. If you ever make videos like what I'm doing here, even the shorter ones are going to take you a good hour, hour and a half to put all the edits in. This is why whenever you're thinking about flipping the classroom, you don't necessarily start with where I'm at right now with what I'm doing, because it might not be for you. You might feel like you're spending way too much time in post-editing, and you might get discouraged from doing such things. I do like to make my titles very, very uniform across the board, so most of the time I'm either going to start with a title and introduction of what it is I'm discussing, or I might have just a small clip as I did with this video, before the title, and then put that title in, which I use PowerPoint to make the backgrounds most of the time for my titles. And I couple that with a little bit of hard rock music, which I found on YouTube. If you have a YouTube account, you can click on the video editor and go through and find all sorts of royalty-free music. On some of my newer videos, I might put a little bit of background music, but most of the time, this just ticks off my viewers. I tend to find that just talking typically makes it a little bit easier to follow my videos. And of course, you can add in different types of sound effects, which I don't normally do outside my little audio clips that goes with my text and all that, which I may insert within my videos. In addition to the camera, I also use this little boom mic here, which I feel like does a pretty good job at making my voice sound clearer. It creates a little bit of a higher quality sound to my videos, which is very, very important. I'd say the sound quality of your video is at least as important as the video quality, maybe even more so. Even if you use a screencasting website, you're going to want to have decent sound, so I definitely recommend you have some kind of a mic. If you're on your computer, a simple wired headset, the kind you can probably get for your media specialist at your school library, will suffice just fine for giving you guys adequate sound in your flip videos. Finally, while I'm editing, I do oftentimes interject some degree of writing or text. I also use pictures that I take mainly from places like Flickr, or if you go into Google and you're doing an image search and you look for images that can be modified and used for commercial use, these typically are the safest because, I mean, there's no real copyright infringement for their use. So that's just about it. If you have any interest in flipping the classroom, I would start with screen capture tools or something that will allow you to make videos a little bit quicker, or certainly use videos that are already out there on the YouTubes, ones that don't require you to take the extra time to make the video, maybe just a little bit extra time to watch and preview. I hope you guys enjoy what you get out of this small series on flipping the classroom. I hope you found it useful. If so, feel free to like, subscribe, share, see what I'm doing on a regular basis in human geography and world history, and leave any comments, any questions you might have in the description.